One morning in 1982, something remarkable happened in a hatchery in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. A small, brown speckled egg hatched and released a healthy but vulnerable chick. An ambitious conservation goal had been achieved. This egg was the first of 480,000 carefully monitored Houbara eggs that would hatch over the coming years and contribute towards securing the future of an emblematic species. As long ago as 1977, the United Arab Emirates recognized the need to act on the declining population of the Houbara. A series of preemptive conservation methods were established that would set world-leading standards in governance, research, in situ and ex situ conservation, and techniques that emphasize the importance of acting with foresight to conserve the Houbara, a bird with deep connections to the Emirati and broader Arabian heritage and traditions of falconry. On land and in the sea, our forefathers lived and survived in this environment. They were able to do so because they recognized the need to conserve it, to take from it only what they needed to live, and to preserve it for succeeding generations. So began an avowed intention to address the declining numbers of the Houbara in the wild. Along with rapid urbanization and industrial development came an even greater awareness of the decline in the Houbara population. This decline prompted pioneering investigations into the bird's ecology, behavior, physiology, and biology. And in 2006, the International Fund for Houbara Conservation was established, with a mission to conserve and regenerate the Houbara population in the wild through active intervention and conservation leadership. Abu Dhabi and its Environment Vision 2030 aims to preserve the Emirates' ecological heritage with the careful allocation of human resources and use of cutting-edge technology. By collaborating with governments, ecology institutes, and conservation communities across the globe, the International Fund has been recognized as the leader in Houbara preservation, contributing expertise to projects spanning from Morocco to Mongolia. The fund aims to maximize a sustainable Houbara population within ecosystem constraints through the regeneration of the Houbara population in the wild, and by taking decisive action to curb unregulated hunting and poaching, it is preserving the proud heritage and traditions of falconry. It's an ambitious and challenging vision that involves both building on the considerable success in breeding and release, together with promoting greater awareness and taking decisive action on the wider regulatory and ecosystem protection factors that impact the Houbara. Over time, the fund's number of staff has grown to 1,800 and is comprised of 45 different nationalities. All of them are more committed than ever to protect and restore the indigenous Houbara populations throughout the world. With significant commitment to preserving the species' genetic diversity, a database has been built that details the pedigree of every single bird. These birds are then released, following an appropriate protocol, to 14 of the 30 countries within the Houbara's range. By engaging with local communities, together with an ambitious education program and a deep understanding of cultural contexts, Abu Dhabi's 40 years of conservation success is safeguarding the future of the Houbara while fostering the development of the next generation of scientists and conservationists. With a network of centers that stretch from Abu Dhabi in the UAE to Angel in Mansour in Morocco and eastward to the Sheikh Khalifa Houbara Breeding Center in Kazakhstan, the International Fund for Houbara Conservation looks forward to the continued evolution of a global species as they strive to secure a sustainable future for this iconic bird. Our world has good reason to be optimistic about the future of this remarkable bird, protected and sustained by the International Fund for Houbara Conservation, the world's leader in preemptive conservation.
And now, please welcome the director of the Smithsonian National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute, Stephen Monfort, and the managing director, International Fund for Houbara Conservation, His Excellency Majid Al Mansouri.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here with Majid Al Mansouri, who's the executive director of the International Fund for Houbara Conservation. And it's a great program. People always ask me, Majid, about what matters if a species goes extinct. Why should we care? And you've worked on several different bustard species. So what's the answer that you would give people? Why should we work so hard to save this particular group of birds?
It's good to see you, Steve. As you know, that species by itself, it's part of the whole chain of ecosystem. And any species extent, for sure, it will impact other species and other ecological systems. So the Houbara bustard, it's very important for ecosystem, environmentally, and also when you look into the cultural of this has a huge cultural impact if the Houbara bustard extends, because for UNESCO today we have more than 20 countries which recognize falconry as one of the global human intangible heritage. So if we look into the species itself and how it will extend, the species has the full right to live like us, like human beings. So we are sharing the ecosystem and the environment with all these species. So in Abu Dhabi, we believe in that. We believe that this species has a full right to live, has also an impact on total ecosystem. So for Houbara is one of the common denominator for the ecosystem when you look from Mauritania all the way to Mongolia. So these species are long-range migratory species, and from there, they have a lot of impact on ecosystem, and they are living in a very challenging arid zone system.
So it's one of the most successful conservation programs of its kind. It's amazing that almost 300,000 birds have been reintroduced. You work across 14 different countries. I know you've had to innovate a lot and problem solve, and you've used science quite a bit. I wonder if you could speak to the role of innovation and science in your success.
Of course, to get a wild species from the wild into captivity, it's a big challenge. And Houbara was a big challenge. That's why at the beginning, took late Sheikh Zayed to start with a small project in Al Ain Zoo. It took him from 77 to 82 to have the first check. And from there, we learned a lot, and a lot of research done on ecology, on the species behavior, on their migration, on their survival, on their genetics. And today, proudly said that we have maybe the biggest genetic database worldwide for a single species, which is the Asian and North African bustard. A lot of innovation done in captivity, in the design, in the artificial insemination, into technologies of their migration, studying their migration route. All the challenges today the bird is facing, it's already been modeled and looked at. That's why our strategy is very clear how we can today have like a better intervention model, which the species will survive more and will have more Houbara in the wild in the future.
When you think about the work that IFHC is doing, what makes you feel optimistic about the future?
I'm really optimistic about the species will not extend, and now we are working on an intervention model, which can be a model for applied at any species, which is endangered today, and that's because it has different pillars. It work on ecosystem, on social system, and on science, and on migration. So this intervention model, it will be very interesting to apply it on other species. Because Houbara model today is very successful, and a lot of achievements and success is already there in the wild now. We have, as you said, 14 countries. We are releasing in many countries. We can start seeing how the captive bred start migrating back into they are taking same route of the wild ones, and they go back to breed. So I'm very optimistic that this model can be used for others.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Majid, so much. And thank you for being an Earth optimist. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you. It's good to see you again. And I wish you the best.